Hey everybody, it's Gail, and this is Errata-Hate episode 57, and I am very excited today because we are gonna make an A-line skirt! Woo! So we're gonna make it a little differently than how this one is made. So this is made in the style that I used for the pencil skirt back in episode 12, and the start of this is also pretty similar to the shorts I showed you how to make in episode 20. So if you've done either one of those, definitely some similarities, but we're going to do a couple of different things. So first of all, this was done in the round, all the way down, and has an elastic waistband. However, a couple of people have made my pencil skirt since I posted episode 12 and have posted results to Ravelry, and one of the problems that I have seen is that it can be a little difficult to get the skirt over your butt from the waistband, because it's a step-in skirt, and the idea is that you want the waist nice and tight because you want the whole skirt nice and tight, and I didn't really think about that when I first did that episode in terms of like people's different body sizes and stuff. So that's my bad. But I really want to thank everyone who has mentioned that, because it means that for this skirt, I'm going to teach you how to put in a zipper. This is a 4-inch zipper. You can get these anywhere. They're fairly cheap. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build the skirt around the need to put the zipper in. And that's a very simple thing to do. So what you're going to need: zipper, this video, worsted weight yarn. I am using Caron Simply Soft, as I usually do, in Ocean, because I really like the color. And what we're going to do is we're actually just going to work rows for a while. Now, like I said, if you've done the other projects, you know that usually I work the first row or two as a row, and then I join after that so that I don't twist my project so much. And then I work it as in the round all the way down. And that's not going to happen here. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to work in rows, including starting to put in increases and that sort of thing, for the 4 inches we need to fit the zipper in. And then we are going to start joining and working in the round. So I am going to go get started on that, because I want to do the waistband first, to be able to kind of show you how you can tell where you are in the length of things. So I'm going to go get started. I will see you in a minute. I will talk to you later. Hey everybody, I am back, and I have new lipstick. Isn't it great? If you're not someone who would wear gold lipstick, I totally get it, but I am, so gold lipstick. So anyway, to the point, I have finished the waistband for my skirt. And to get this waistband, what I did, let me get up here, is I took my yarn and my trusty H-hook, and I just stitched chains until I had a nice snug fit at my natural waist, which is where I want this to sit. As you can see, the shirt is gathering up a little bit, but you can see that it's fitting but not squeezing me to death. So that's what you're going to want to do, is just make a chain that feels comfortable wherever you're going to set your skirt. You might like yours a little lower than mine. And then I did 5 rows of single crochet. And so that gets you your starting waistband. And then we'll get to my extra bits here in a minute. That'll be the increases. But first, I want to show you, so this is the zipper we're using. This is the 4-inch zipper. And if you haven't worked with a zipper before, you will notice that the top of the zipper is open. So when you're lining up your waistband and your skirt to figure out when to start joining rows, you do not want to start up here, because then when you zip up your skirt, you will have this gap at the top. What you want to do is line up with the top of the zipper there. And then what this does is you fold it over and you sew it in, and it gives you a little extra, it gives you some extra fabric to take some of the stress of the zipper. Like, that's the point of that. So right now, as you can see, we've got a ways to go still, but that's okay because we have a ways to go still. And so I just wanted you to see that and let you understand, you know, this is not necessary for measurement. This bottom bit with the looseness, definitely work it all the way down to there, because that's what's going to also help hold the zipper in place and take some of the stress off it so you don't pop stitches. Like, I'm sure we've all had that thing where you put on something and you go to zip it and it just, that's what this bottom part is for, is to help take some of that stress off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the camera flipped around, because I've got a couple of little illustrations to show you how we're going to do the increases, which I am currently working on. And unlike the pencil skirt and unlike the shorts, if you've done either of those, there will be no decreases, which is kind of nice. One of the reasons I like the skirt is because I don't have to remember to decrease. So I will get the camera turned around and I will be right back. Okie dokie, got the camera turned around, and if you look at my waistband here, I have started doing double crochets across, and I have an increase here. I always call them raglan increases, because when you do raglans, you increase by doing 3 stitches in the same stitch rather than 2. But that's the only, but I only call them raglans because I do it on raglans. I don't think it's its actual name. But I have one here, and then if you come over a little ways, I have one here. And you can see that from here to here is less than from here to here a little ways. And that's because this is measured for very particular fit. And I'm going to show you the fit on my terrible drawing. So, this is your body, that's your belly, that's your butt. And the way this works is here is the waistline. And these 2 points here represent these 2 increases I just showed you. And the idea is that you want them lined up so that if you come out in sort of the A-frame shape that we're going for, they will end up coming, they will end up building kind of around the top of your thigh. This is not to scale. Don't worry, your butt will be covered, your front will be covered, everything will be covered, I promise. And so the thing is, we've got to do this on both sides of the skirt. And so to do that, what you want to do is keep count of where your stitches go. Now, I know from experience that if I'm working with Caron Simply Soft with an H hook, starting with my usual waistband, my increases go at stitch 20 and stitch 35, or any combination of a round number and then 15 more. That's always what it is for me. So when you figure yours out, write them down so you can test them later on other projects. But also, once you figure yours out, come on right over to the other end. As you can see, I've got my stitch markers in, and I haven't worked the double crochets over here yet. And from the far end, count in to your increases. So again, this is stitch 20, and then this is stitch 35. And so what I can do is just keep working across from my increases, and I know exactly where my increases need to go on the other end, and then I will just keep marking as I go, because we're going to do stacked increases. And let me show you that part. So this is what we're currently doing. So this is the last line of the waistband. If you haven't worked with a crochet chart before, X's or single crochets, ellipses just mean that you're going to do the same thing across, so you're just going to keep doing single crochets. The double T's are double crochets, and then this right here, the little fan, is 3 double crochet worked in the same stitch. So that's our increases. So in my case, this is stitch 20. I work, I go across. This is stitch 35. And then this row is the same as this row. So this is our first set of increases. After that, we're going to work 2 rows even. And then we're going to work another set of increases. And then we're going to work 2 rows even. I ran out of room. So like, pretend that's not, yeah. And so after you work that other row of increases, you're going to come back down, work 2 rows even, more increases. And as we go, we're going to be checking the length of this along with the zipper. So I'm going to work this increase row and these first 2 rows of even, check it against my zipper, work another increase row. And as I get closer to the end of the zipper, as I get closer to kind of getting down here, oh, wrong end. Sorry, guys. As I get closer to kind of working down here, I'll start checking it every row so that I can make sure I get the right length. And once I get there, I'll come back and let you know how many increase rows it took me, because then you can probably figure it out if you're also using Simply Soft and an H hook. So I'm going to go work on that. I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, I have very good news. The skirt's so far. And if I take it, and I line it up like I was showing you, so right at the top of the zipper, and down to the bottom, Oh, that's the wrong end. Hold on. I worked over to the almost join point so that I could just join on camera real quick, and so I just showed you the wrong end. Anyway, all right, let's try that again. Duh. There we go. We have a nice fit here. You can see that it goes down to the end of the zipper. We're going to be able to sew it in nice and pretty. And to do that, I worked, let's see. That was 1, 2, 3. So I worked 3 increases and 2 rows. So that pattern that I showed you earlier of the increase rows and then the 2 work even rows and the increase rows and the 2 work even. So if we count those 3 rows, that increase row and those 2 work evens as 1 pattern set, I made 3 pattern sets to make it long enough to fit the zipper. So if you're working in Kara and Simply Soft in an H hook, it should take you about that much time. So now, of course, we come to the very exciting part, where we get to join and start working in the round. So what I'm going to do is just finish off these last few stitches on the end here. And this is the row after that, the row that fit here. So this was an increase row. Last stitch. Got it. And now what I'm going to do is bring up the other end of the skirt, match the side so it's all going to lie flat, and I'm just going to join with the first double crochet in the row, if I can get my hook in there, and I'm going to slip stitch them together like that. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to turn and start working back the way I came, skipping that joining stitch in the middle and working in the next stitch to have a proper double crochet. And I'm going to continue with my increases as I work, because I know that I need more because of I've made one of these before. The great thing though is that now that you have that join, you can start trying your skirt on and getting a sense of how much flare you have. And you can see on the edges here, you can see, let me pull it from the middle, because this is how you're going to see it. There we go. You can see that you've already got that A-line starting, which is exactly what you want. And now you can slip it on and just, when you slip it on, just hold the 2 pieces in the back together, side by side, so you can know what it's going to fit like with the zipper. Or get someone to hold them for you. I generally have to have my husband like pull the sides together, because my elbows don't bend that way. But I'm going to keep going on this, and I'm going to add some more increases. I'm going to add some more of those work even rows. We're just going to work in that same pattern. And then once you get the A flare that you're looking for, once it's as wide as you want it, all you got to do is keep working even until it's as long as you want it. So I'm going to go work it until it's as wide as I want, and then I'll be back to show you what that looks like, because I know the visual can help. So yeah, so again, it was 3 pattern sets. So it was a row of increases, 2 rows of work even, a row of increases, 2 rows of work even, a row of increases, 2 rows of work even, and that made it long enough to fit the zipper. And then when I went back doing my next increase row, that is when I joined, so that now I can work in the round. So I will be back with the next step short. I am back. I have the skirt on, as you can see, and as I was telling you earlier, I'm just kind of holding the pieces together in the back, where the zipper is going to go, so I can check fit, and things are looking really good. It's feeling really good at the waist, and then I've done 6 sets of increases, doing that stacked increase that I showed you, and I've got a nice A-line shape that I'm really happy with. So the trick with sizing your A-line skirt so you get the angle you want without going too far out and kind of ballooning is you just kind of want to grab it at the edges, and that shows you where your angle is going to go. And it gives you a sense of how much extra skirt you're actually carrying with you. And if you want a super huge 8, keep going, I say. But I like having about an inch on either side to get that silhouette. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm working even the rest of the way down. And I'm probably going to do some decorative stitches to keep myself entertained while I'm working on it. And once I have it to the length I want, I will I'll pop back on and show you where it's hitting me just to give you a sense of what it looks like when it's finished, and then we will stick the zipper on, so stay tuned. Hey, I'm back. I know I said I was going to show you the whole thing before I put the zipper in, but then I realized, well, what you want to see is the zipper going in, because then the skirt is done, and that's the exciting part. So we're going to look at the zipper first. So as you can see, I've taken my zipper, I have lined it up with the opening that we kept until it was zipper length, and I have pinned it into place on one side. You can see that I've folded it over here. And so what I'm going to do is just do the same thing on this side. I'm going to lay this against the zipper and line things up. You know, it's kind of an eyeballing game, and that's okay. I can tell you from experience, if you're off slightly, no one will notice. They will be too impressed you made a thing. So I'm folding my edge over, and I'm going to put my first pin in, and I'm hoping I get through this one without stabbing myself. I have stabbed myself a number of times putting pins in, because that's part of sewing. So that pin is in. You can see that it is secured on the other side there. And so I am going to work down this zipper and just keep putting those pins in. And with this kind of zipper, this is what is known as an invisible zipper, because you basically bring your fabric, whether it's fabric, you know, woven fabric or crochet fabric, as close as you can to the zipper teeth, and then it's mostly hidden when everything is zipped up. So continuing on. By the way, I will not actually be doing the sewing on screen. I know I've done the sewing on screen before for, it was episode 45 when we did the fabric and yarn hoodie, but I know also that my sewing is not super great. It's the I learned this from my grandma when I was 5 kind of stitch, and it works for me. But I would rather encourage you to seek out a, you know, like beginning hand sewing stitch on YouTube. And I have one that I like, and I can't find it right this second. But I'm going to do a deeper dig after I get the zipper in. So I will do my best to find you one that I will link down in the basement so that you have a good resource for that. All right, and so I'm putting this last pin in. And by the way, if you don't want to sew, or you don't know how to sew, or your hands don't like it when you sew, don't sew. I highly recommend a hot glue gun or some craft epoxy, and you can do the same exact stuff. It'll hold, it'll look good. And, you know, I'm doing the sewing technique because that's how I put these zippers in most of the time, but I have also started using craft epoxy quite a bit. But I had that marked for a different video, so, you know. So here it is, it's all pinned in. Now you notice we have this gap at the bottom, but that's okay, because what you can do when you're sewing everything into place in terms of getting the zipper lined up is at the bottom, you can do a series of stitches to close that gap, and that will give you extra support on your zipper. And it will close the gap that you can see in the front, and it will help things stay put. So I'm going to go and thread a needle and get to work on this. And I'm going to go find that video, and next time you see me, we're going to be all done. I will be back. And we're done! Look at that! Isn't that pretty good? So, you're getting this fabulous mirror shot because my cameraman is at work, and it's dry now, so I really wanted to get on camera with it. As you can see, we've got a nice smooth fit around the waist. There's the zipper. You can tell that I sewed the little gap shut. It's fitting very beautifully. And you might be saying to yourself, Gail, that doesn't look like the A-line I was promised. There's a reason for that, and the reason is I got fancy and did crossed stitches like I showed you in episode 53, and I worked those in alternating rows with just working straight across, And so what that did is it actually pulled the skirt in a little bit on the side so I don't get that A-line flare. Where's my face? There's my face. But if you, damn it, there we go. If you go back and look at the skirt that I showed you at the top of the video, that is what your skirt will look like if you keep just working double crochets down and don't try to get fancy like I did. Or if you like this look, try to get fancy like I did. I mean, why the hell not? So another successful project. As always, if you enjoy what I do here, please like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and I will see y'all for episode 58. All right, bye.